Yo, what's up? You cool? You feel me? XRAE is in the building. Thank you all for 1.3K subs, man. We're going crazy by that grace of God. Now remember, have a good day. Remember to smile. My Floridians, man, be safe out here. And today, like the last couple streams, man, luckily we still have power. I know some people don't. I know some people don't. Um, we finna watch the updates for about a good 2 hours. You feel me? And then I'm just gonna be chilling. We're gonna be reacting, and we gonna be chilling playing the game. So hey, man, enjoy the update, and thank you for all the support. You feel me?
That so that we're getting these images right to our screens. Stay safe out there, and thanks again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, we also want to give you a look at some of the flooding that we are seeing across Central Florida, and boy, is there a lot of it.
It is coming in like lightning speed. So here are just some of the videos and pictures we are getting from you, our viewers, and continue to send that. Here's the photo I was just talking about with Lieutenant Krasinski. You can see it's a little hard to make out, but there is a car up on the road, and as you just heard her say, 4 feet of water in some places on the turnpike, which is why it is now shut down in parts of Orange County.
You know what's interesting about that is you look, you see there's no water there, right? And then you think, oh, it's okay, I can drive through that. And then you get in and realize that you can't. And so you want to stay out of any type of waterway, any type of roadway that has water on it. Take a look at these images. This is coming out of the Vista Lakes neighborhood. This is in Orlando, and they are experiencing flooding there as well. As you can see, that's somebody's, looks like their front yard there with a lot of flooding.
Really scary. Another look at some video. This is in Winter Springs. This is in the Highlands community. And as you can see, all of that rain turning their driveways and the road in front of their homes into a river.
And this is from the Tapestry neighborhood in Kissimmee. We know Kissimmee has been very, very hard hit, right? Take a look at this. A family member of our WOFL staff, they are seeing this right outside their own homes. That entire neighborhood is flooded.
And a look at some of the heavy rain and flooding in the Gulfview neighborhood. This is in South Daytona Beach. You can see this video was taken right in the heart of the storm because that significant rainfall is still coming down.
And it goes on and on, Amy. Take a look at this. This is a look at some damages coming out of Orlando after a tree fell onto a house. New video sent in shows a large tree, just the root, just completely out of the ground, smashed through the home. This happened in the corner of Wagner and Westbrook Drive in Orlando. And what's interesting about that is people say, listen, I'm doing everything I can. I'm staying inside. I'm parking my car in the garage. I'm doing everything I need to do. And then look what happens. A tree falls on their home.
Well, one of the things that we saw a lot in Hurricane Charlie is that these water oaks have very shallow roots,
yes,
right?
roots.
And so what happens is that, and it looks like that's one of them. It's just those shallow roots, they just tip over in the wind. And sometimes it doesn't have to take much wind for it to happen, but I hate to see somebody's house damaged.
Yeah.
Well, Hurricane Ian made landfall, as you know, as a Cat 4, a very strong Cat 4 storm in Lee County.
And that area saw a lot of destruction. A Fox Weather multimedia journalist, Robert Ray, gives us a closer look at a marina where boats were just tousled in the waves.
Yeah, good morning to you here from one of the marinas here in Fort Myers, and you see the devastation takes your breath away. As a matter of fact, I'm looking at a woman behind the camera right now who is doing this because that's your first reaction to a scene like this. The storm surge and the hurricane winds from Hurricane Ian creating these scenes here, huge docks that are concrete. The boats, giant vessels here that people owned, crumbled and pushed as if it was a toy on a living room floor, like nothing. These hurricane force winds that persisted all day yesterday and made its way into here, finally destroying people's property, businesses, vessels, flooding downtown Fort Myers. Literally, the streets in downtown historic Fort Myers at one point, not to use a cliche, but did look like a river with bars and restaurants just sitting right there. And now people here this morning as the wind gusts continue, actually, and the system moves up to the north, are monitoring and coming out here, and the search and rescue teams are going to be all over this, unfortunately. On the coastline, about 12 miles from where I'm at, is where much of the storm surge occurred. 12, 18 feet. We saw homes over there with the water at the rooftops, and mandatory evacuations were in place. If people did not evacuate, they were in harm's way. We started our day down there yesterday in the morning on the Gulf and saw the storm surge come in and left and went over the bridge and came to inland here 12 miles in because we knew what was coming. And this far in even, you saw the storm surge off of the bodies of water and the rivers here and the winds that persisted. And Lee County officials making the statement that they think perhaps there are hundreds dead. We will see. Unfortunately, that may be true, but we may have hope. It may not be the case in the aftermath of this. Sometimes there are numbers that come out, and we need to listen to what they say, but we also need to take a deep breath and hope that that is not the case. But they will be putting drones up when this wind stops. They will be sending helicopters out. They will be sending boats out. They will be sending man and woman power on the ground to look and try to rescue people out that need help. In scenes all over like this in Southwest Florida, this is an historic hurricane that has come in into this densely populated part of America, a beautiful part where so many people from around the country have relocated to retire or even just a better life.
You know, it's interesting. He said that because people relocated too during 2020, 2021, and now they're experiencing this for the very first time.
The time is now 9:45 a.m. We are continuing to monitor the aftermath of Tropical Storm Ian. We are taking a live now look from our news partners in Central Florida, Fox 35 Orlando, bringing us the latest. But at this time, we are getting some aerial shots from Fox Weather. They are flying, surveying the damage now that the sun is beginning to shine over a lot of areas that were impacted by the storm. At this time, let's go ahead and continue to listen into Fox 35 Orlando. We have Alina Shirazi. Looks like she is on the scene reporting on the aftermath as well.
Some of those barrier islands, we still are seeing a lot of flooding, and some of those warnings still remain intact. But if you take a look behind me, we are actually here at Cocoa, where a lot of people have their boats docked out there. People are coming out here to kind of examine the situation for the first time this morning. There's about, I don't know, a handful of people out here taking a look at their boats. Some people are breathing a sigh of relief, saying, thank God my boat is okay. Some of these people, they tell me, live on those boats. So you can imagine that is their home. If you take a look over to my right, this is the boat that we were showing you earlier. At first, we thought it might be abandoned. Here's the owner. He's inspecting what's going on right now. We were wondering if this was kind of pushed over from the storm, from the swells and the waves of Ian. He says he had 3 anchors inside of that boat. So either it was broken into, it drifted over, we don't know. She's still trying to figure it out. But again, this community coming together this morning, seeing what's left, seeing how their boats fared, seeing their houses, and just trying to just find some peace this morning, knowing that things are relatively okay. Unfortunately, though, this guy, he's going to have to fix his boat. So we're going to continue to keep you updated. Rain starting to come down, wind starting to pick up. We'll be here, guys.
All right. Thank you, Alina.
Well, there's some new video coming out of the Swan and Dolphin Hotel in Disney World. A viewer sent us some video last night where parts of the hotel were already flooded. We'll get to that for you in just a moment. But first, let's take a look behind us and get to the experts. We've got Brooks and Allie standing by with more on what we can expect as we move forward.
Well, we have had quite the night, and the wind continues this morning. Allison, yes. We're just remarking at how on the backside of this thing, the winds are howling, the building whistling, yes. And a lot of the trees are getting kind of loosey-goosey thanks to all of the really heavy rain that fell last night. The roots are not as secure, so watch out for falling limbs. Here's a live view. This is a live view from Daytona Beach. Look at this picture. This tells the story. It's that old phrase, a picture tells 1,000 words, and in this case, the video shows the full force of Hurricane Ian right now in real time, live, just raking across Daytona Beach. The water is over here. It's just foam right now, and this is a parking lot with all the, of course, landscape palm trees, but it really gives you an idea of how the winds are blowing. Those palms are just completely pushed over to the side with the wind blowing through the crowns, and it's a demonstration portion right along the coast there that, in fact, Ian continues with its wind and its rain. It's not over yet. Let's take a look at another camera. So this is Daytona Beach, and there's another camera just up the coast. See if I can make that switch for me. Here we go. Okay, here's a shot from, this is going to be Marineland, looking over at the water. And I know it looks kind of just like a whitewash because it really is. The water's down here, and the waves are just, it's like the ocean's white. It's just all froth. It's just that storm state of the ocean. And occasionally you'll see some darker clouds go by to give you perspective. I'll just step off the screen, show you that. You can see the land on the bottom right-hand side of the screen. There's a, looks like a little bit of some dune action. You can see the waves breaking now on the bottom. We got a little break between the rain. So Ian is just pounding the northeast coast of Florida right now, and the winds are really, really causing some problems there. And we've got some power outages as a result. 170,000 are now without power in Volusia County. And Allison, you know, we've been looking at the radar, and we've also been talking about some of these gusts. What are you seeing on your side using Fox 35 Storm Tracker radar? Well,
we are seeing very, very strong winds, Brooks. I do want to take you in. I've already plotted out some points here. So just to the east of downtown Orlando, we are looking at 48-mile-per-hour sustained winds, meaning gusts are even higher. 55-mile-per-hour sustained winds just south of Sanford, and then up in Volusia County, another 55. And you saw with that video that Brooks was showing out in Daytona Beach that gusts there are quite high. So let me actually take you into our wind gust tracker here locally, looking at 68-mile-per-hour winds in Daytona Beach. Just about 5 minutes ago, that number was up to 71. A little bit lighter in Leesburg, but not in Clearmont, just shy of 60 there. 54-mile-per-hour gusts in Orlando. And then you can see where that center of circulation is, or in the eye of Ian, we're actually seeing much calmer conditions, so about 21-mile-per-hour winds. And I do want to let you know, if you head out to my Twitter page or Brooks Garner or the Fox 35 Storm Team, we actually shared what it looks like inside, and actually the sun peeking out just a bit, but that's not going to be the case across the peninsula right now. Let's take you into our Fox 35 Storm Tracker radar, and I want to let you know exactly what we are seeing as for rain. Some of the heaviest rain is offshore of Volusia County, but we are seeing that moderate rain still falling south of Daytona Beach through Port Orange, and then just to the inland of Ponce Inlet there, right along I-95. As we continue to go along that I-4 corridor down toward Lake Helen, as well as Orange City, still going to be seeing some rain out there. Now, yes, it's not heavy at the moment, but updating the Fox 35 Storm Team on these flash flood warnings, and they will likely continue as we head throughout the next several hours. This flash flood warning in Volusia County is in effect until noon today, and then the flash flood warning that includes Lake Orange, Seminole,